All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to break down exactly how to flip the script on your brain's reliance on instant gratification. Let's be real for a second, okay? We have all had that morning where we wake up with the absolute best intentions, ready to just crush the day. But before we even step out of bed, we reach over, grab our phone just to check, one quick notification, and suddenly, boom, 45 minutes have totally vanished into thin air. If you're feeling stuck, or tired, or just constantly derailed by your own impulses, this explainer is definitely for you. We are going to look at how to completely transform you into someone who obsessively pursues hard work, all by understanding and reverse engineering the hidden mechanics of your own mind. So I want you to ask yourself, what if you actually craved the struggle? Seriously, just think about that for a moment. Imagine waking up and genuinely wanting to tackle the absolute hardest tasks before the rest of the world is even awake, instead of instinctually reaching for that quick hit of cheap digital dopamine. It sounds like some kind of unreachable superpower, right? But it's not magic, not at all. It really just comes down to biology and habit. Right now, your brain is likely hijacked by the modern environment, but today we're going to show you exactly how to take the steering wheel back. First things first, we have to establish that your brain isn't broken. It's actually doing exactly what it evolved to do. We're dealing with what's called comfort addiction, and it's deeply rooted in our evolutionary biology. Think about it. Thousands of years ago, on the savannah, our ancestors had to conserve calories just to survive. Seeking high-reward, low-effort situations literally kept them alive. But today, that exact same ancient wiring is completely destroying us. Deep down, your brain desperately wants to keep you safe, secure, and honestly entirely too comfortable. It's literally hardwired to seek the path of least resistance. And in today's modern world of super stimuli, that survival mechanism results in a dangerous daily reliance on easy dopamine and avoiding hard work at all costs. And this creates a really fascinating divide in how people operate. The default human condition, what we can call the average mind, desperately tries to find an easy balance. It naturally seeks out the couch, constantly hunting for comfort and trying to escape anything that even remotely feels like hard work. But then, you have the elite mind. The truly elite are taking control and consciously overriding that ancient programming. They are deliberately rewiring their psychological habit loops to actively hunt down resistance. Instead of running from discomfort, they become obsessively addicted to their own evolution and the pain of growth because they understand what's actually at stake. So, to make this shift from average to elite, we have to talk about how we spend our energy. Every day, we're constantly choosing between cheap distractions and hard currency. Cheap distractions are things like endless scrolling and video games, stuff that feels great in the moment but just leaves you empty. Hard currency? That's taking a cold shower, enduring physical soreness, seeking deliberate resistance. And here's a wild biological fact. When you flood your brain with cheap digital stimulation, your dopamine receptors actually downregulate. They just numb out. That's exactly why normal, productive tasks suddenly feel impossibly boring to you. To fix this, you first have to completely starve your brain of those cheap distractions so it stops expecting instant pleasure. You literally have to cut off the easy supply. Which brings us to a crucial point. You must fundamentally redefine how you view discomfort. Think about it like physical training. When you go to the gym and lift heavy weights, you're literally creating micro tears in your muscle fibers. But you don't view that soreness as an injury, right? You view soreness as progress carved directly into the body. Well, your brain works the exact same way. It needs the cognitive friction of difficult tasks to build new, resilient neural pathways. Mental fatigue isn't a sign to stop. Mental fatigue is the exact same as physical soreness. It's absolute proof of growth. You have to start seeing pain not as an enemy, but as the literal currency you pay for real, tangible leveling up. Okay, let's look at how this builds into a powerful, actionable daily strategy, starting the literal second you wake up. Consider this your morning checklist for elite growth. 1. Wake up early before the world. 2. Avoid the phone instantly. 3. Take a freezing cold shower. 4. Execute intense physical movement. Think about the narrative of a victorious morning here. You wake up in the dark, you bypass the easy trap of your phone, and you step straight into freezing water. Why? Because science actually shows that a cold shower provides a massive, prolonged spike in your baseline dopamine that lasts for hours. You are proving to your body that this intense, deliberate discomfort provides way more functional, raw energy than a cup of coffee or a half hour of mindless scrolling ever could. But hey, here's the reality check. Your brain, it is a master negotiator. Even with a flawless intention for your morning routine, the second your alarm goes off, your brain will start pleading with you. It's going to rationalize, it'll bargain, it will desperately tell you to stay in bed for just 5 more minutes. It wants the easy way out, which is exactly why you cannot allow the negotiation to even begin. You have to cut it off right at the source. And to do that, you have exactly 3 seconds. Enter the 3-second kill switch. The very moment you feel that familiar, heavy hesitation creeping in, that tiny voice making excuses, you count down in your head. 3, 2, 1. And then you physically move to kill the overthinking. Throw the covers off, stand up, step into the shower. The neuroscience behind this is actually brilliant. By actively counting backward, you occupy your prefrontal cortex, which physically interrupts your brain's ability to generate excuses. By forcing immediate physical action, you train your mind to push forward regardless of the discomfort. Action is the ultimate antidote to overthinking. Now, once you've hacked your start mechanism, you gotta keep going. And that means you have to master the monotony. Movies completely lie to us, don't they? With those 2-minute training montages backed by high-energy rock music. They make success look so thrilling. But in reality, the path to greatness is incredibly quiet, unsexy, and usually involves staring at a screen or a book for hours in total silence. Real success is forged in the silent grind of boring repetition and daily monotony. If you want the spectacular, glamorous results, you first have to learn to fall in love with the incredibly boring work. It all comes down to making simple, daily trades to shift your behaviors from the comfort loop to deliberate growth. So, instead of losing 2 hours to Netflix, you trade it for reading 20 pages of a dense, valuable book. Instead of that mindless morning scroll through social media, you trade it for practicing a hard skill daily. Instead of escaping the hard work, you actively engage in silent mental training. These aren't massive, impossible leaps. They're just small, deliberate trades. And by implementing this specific routine of swapping behaviors, the boring work will eventually feel exponentially better to you than cheap entertainment, mostly because these trades actually yield a massive return on your investment over time. And when you consistently make those trades, something amazing happens. You develop the unfair competitive advantage. Just think about the modern world for a second. Everyone is distracted. Everyone's attention span is absolutely fried. We are literally living in a society of goldfish. When you can finally stomach the boring work and you stop needing constant flashy excitement from a screen every 3 minutes, you immediately gain an incredible, almost unfair edge. Simply being able to sit down and focus intensely on a difficult task for 60 uninterrupted minutes makes you incredibly rare and honestly incredibly dangerous in today's economy. You basically become a shark in a tank full of goldfish. Which brings us to the absolute highest level of this entire process: deep flow. Deep flow is a state you achieve by dedicating focused time every single day to master one real skill without any digital distractions. It's that rare, incredible zone where time just completely disappears. The outside world fades away, and nothing exists except you and the work in front of you. Locking into a state of deep flow without your devices buzzing every 5 seconds is the ultimate alchemy. It's exactly how you go from forcing yourself to work to getting genuinely, truly addicted to the daily grind. There's this quote from our source material today that I absolutely love. Visible progress is exactly what becomes so addictive. Think about a time in your life when you actually mastered something difficult. Maybe it was a physical skill, a complex project at work, or learning an instrument. Do you remember that incredible high of realizing you were better today than you were yesterday? That is the exact feeling we are trying to engineer every single day. Once you're in that flow state and you feel the deep, undeniable satisfaction of truly leveling up your own capabilities, no cheap distraction will ever be able to replace that feeling again. As we start to wrap up this explainer, I really want this core philosophy to just sink in for a moment. Comfort has never changed anyone's life. Constantly seeking out the easy path, the hack, or the shortcut will only guarantee that you remain totally stagnant. But if you make the choice to deliberately obsess over your own evolution, and if you consistently choose the hard currency of effort over the cheap distraction of dopamine, you will inevitably build yourself into an absolute force of nature. Addicted to growth. That's the ultimate goal here. If you're ready to completely flip the switch today and start craving the hard work, you have to leave this explainer with a solid commitment to become undeniably addicted to your own growth. Starve the distractions. Embrace the quiet monotony of greatness. Use that 3-second kill switch to override your inner negotiator. So, I have to ask you, what uncomfortable, difficult task are you going to tackle right this second?